Hello YouTube. The little country of my birth, otherwise known as the Catholic Republic of Ireland, which isn't really a republic, they're trying to be a republic, but we're in the news again, apparently not just domestically but internationally for all the wrong damn reasons. The Irish Times, as you see, surging calls for independent inquiry into a woman's death. And there's the beautiful Savita with her husband. She's no longer with us. What else have we got? We have the Daily Telegraph. Woman denied abortion, died after having miscarriage. We have the Times. Miscarriage death provokes fury over... This is a Catholic country, she was told. Of course it's a Catholic country, as much as our detractors tell us that it isn't anymore. So YouTube, at this moment in time there are several inquiries going on into this case. As many of you will know, perhaps you don't know. Anyway, the politicians and a lot of others would rather not speak on it until all the facts are in. But given the fact that they pushed it back to 3 months on the medical level, I think that's unacceptable. So I'm going to go on the word of her husband, who spoke very succinctly about this and determined about this from India, where he is now. Anyway, so the case, breve. This lady, 31 years of age, a dentist by profession, so obviously medical treatment, that's as important as the case develops. Her husband is an engineer and he worked in Galway as well. Here's Galway if you don't know it. "17 weeks pregnant, she complained of back pain and went to hospital. And it soon developed that she was miscarrying. But her waters are broken and cervix was open, so that means she's open, like in any pregnancy, the danger of infection. However, it just developed that there was no potential for that fetus to survive at all, but there was a heartbeat. She complained of terrible pain as time went on, and again, many of you will know this story because it's all over the press, but there was no chance of the baby going to survive, the fetus, so she asked for an abortion 3 different times over as many days, I believe, and she was told that, it's a Catholic country and it's not permitted, because there was a heartbeat. The infection, of course, blood poisoning set in, and a few days later she died. And big hullabaloo, of course, rightly so, over that. Now, the thing about it is, everyone, more details for you, is that the case in Ireland went back to a ruling in 1992 by the Supreme Court where a woman had threatened to kill herself if she couldn't get an abortion. The Supreme Court ruled that she could have a termination of pregnancy in the Republic of Ireland. And as things went on, instructed the government to legislate on that point. They never did, and 20 years later, some other ladies brought a case to the European Court of Human Rights, because again, there was no legislation in place in Ireland, so they had to go to England, and like all Irish women have always done, for a termination. Now, I'm not talking about just any termination, we're talking about risk to life or other factors and all the rest of it. So it's not this so-called permissive, as you please, abortion mandate. Anyway, the government, of course, has done nothing, and this is the whole other dilemma now. The European Court rules they can't order Ireland to do anything, but they can make a suggestion, and the moral authority that holds. The government just refused to do anything about this. And in the case now that's come up with Savita is that it was a miscarriage situation, but they did ask for abortion, and the facts are that they were told that they couldn't have one because the doctor's hands were tied. I'm not saying that the Catholic Church were in there, maliciously saying, no, let her die. But in just the whole confusion thing, it is certainly a factor in the case, and it will be seen as a factor in the case. This is nothing new, you see, in Catholic Ireland. What I often tell colleagues on the continent where I live, because I left Ireland for all these kind of reasons years ago, even in case of civil divorce, as late as 1995, it was the 15th Amendment to the Irish Constitution, as late as 1995 Ireland got civil divorce. Under conditions, of course. When I tell this to foreigners outside of Ireland, they honestly say to me, Sky, you're not serious. And I say, yes, I am serious. And the attitude even before that to have any kind of contraception was exactly the same. It was a sort of drag your heels over it forever and ever and ever, until it was actually Richard Branson in his Virgin Megastores started actually putting condom machines in his shops. So that's it. Now, you see, from an atheist perspective, people will accuse me, and they accuse all of us in atheist activists of sort of making hay on this and sort of making the good out of it and using this dead lady's tragic story for our agenda. No, it's not that. It's a statement of fact, and it's also a case of, as a legacy to this lady. And the reason I'm doing this video, long after the press have lost interest in it, perhaps, certainly the politicians want it all to calm the hell down. That's why I said there was a 3-month inquiry on this. They want 3 months to investigate this, so that they're just hoping that people will forget about it. And I don't want people to forget about it. And I don't want them to forget about it because it's symptomatic of the way Ireland is, and with the Catholic Church. And this could be relevant to any country, the United States, everywhere. Abortion, under any circumstances, is contentious and it's highly sensitive. But you see, my perspective is that the greatest lobby group are the religious, in the case of Ireland, namely the Catholics. And what we're saying, and I'm saying, is that it's the old mantra: it is a woman's right to decide with her and her partner, presumably her family and her doctor. That's it. If people have religious reservations about it, keep it to themselves. I mean, if you take the Catholics, for example, or Christian fundamentalists who are so against abortion, it's like, fine, let that be your stance. The awful fascism, everyone, and yes, I'm going to use a word as strong as fascism, is that, for example, if I say I'm religious, I disagree with abortion, but I want that to be the case for everybody. I demand that's the case for everybody, and I'm going to bully and cajole and lobby, and I have a lot of money, and I'm well organized to do it, to intimidate governments. It's like, if you even think, like, this is Ireland for you. It's like poison for the Irish government. They've tried over years. It brings governments down. And everyone is like, focused on the economic situation at the moment, so they want to kick this into touch for another 20 years. Meanwhile, someone can die, And it is, that's my hobby horse. It's like, let the religious, mind their own damn business. Because they're just wheeled out on every debate now on the radio and the TV, presenting their stall. And it's just that. If they don't like abortion, well then don't consider it if that's your belief or whatever else, but just you cannot command it for anybody else. Last point, I was told recently, and I'm continually told, Sky, why don't you just shut the fuck up? Ireland has changed. Ireland is progressive. I had a friend visit me recently in Brussels declare the same thing to me. Why don't you do something better with your time instead of these silly YouTube videos, atheist activism, sneering? Ireland is different. Nobody's religious. The church has no sway, no influence. Well, why don't the government act then? Our beauty of a politician, our Prime Minister you see here, the coward Enda Kenny, a committed Catholic himself, But we'll see. We'll just see how quickly they act on this. Anyway, that's the story. Feedback is welcome. Please leave a comment. Or subscribe if you want. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.